Welcome to the Home Fellowship Podcast. We are a place where the students of Belfast can gather together and encounter Jesus, and then go live a life like him. We hope you enjoy today's podcast. Feel free to check us out on Facebook and Instagram for our upcoming events. So, Charlotte, thank you very much for being here today for our third Home Fellowship podcast.
Most welcome.
Really appreciate it. So, Charlotte's come to speak at our event this Wednesday night, chatting on the idea of surrounding social media. So, Charlotte, we kick off with a wee question. What was your favourite student meal to cook when you were a student?
Okay, so don't hold it against me, but I may or may not have lived at home the entire time with my mummy.
Epic.
So I didn't have a student meal because she cooked the meals,
That's the way to do it.
and I just ate them. I just ate the things, whatever was there.
That's the way to do it. Big time.
I'm telling you.
Brilliant. And like when you were, did you enjoy being a student? How was your experience with that?
I mean, it was all right.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a nerd, so I probably enjoyed the studying. Honestly, I'm making no friends here. I like the essays and stuff.
Cool.
So yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the freedom of, I think whenever you go off to university, it's this incredible opportunity when you're outside of the systems you've been in your whole life long, to spread your wings, to figure out who you are, whenever a whole lot of people aren't telling you necessarily who you are. And it's this beautiful, I think it's this beautiful opportunity to begin making good decisions for yourself because you want to make good decisions and not because somebody's telling you you need to make them, and discovering what it is to have an independent relationship with Jesus, because a lot of the time I think those things are like sustained by systems that are around us. We're in our home church, we're in our home, maybe brought up in a Christian home, and we've all of these things sustaining our relationship. And then when we step out, we get to discover that we love Jesus for ourselves, and we're following him for ourselves, and we get to really own our faith.
Class.
And I think that happens in university. So I loved that, and I loved getting to meet people who were from so many different backgrounds, because I think you tend to grow up in like an echo chamber where everybody talks like you and thinks like you, and then when you go to university you realize, oh, people think different things to me. I did not know this. And to have conversations about faith and about life and about all of that stuff with people who thought entirely differently to me, I find that both challenging and really, really enjoyable. I find it a lot of fun, and I made friends with people who didn't think anything like I thought, and it was so interesting even for them. Like, I think people are more open to finding out about the Christian faith than you think. I think you think that the Christian faith is always on the defensive, and you have to like fight some battle, and actually I find that the people I met were just really intrigued.
Class.
What do you mean be a Christian? What does that mean? And as long as I wasn't confrontational, it wasn't a confrontation, it was a conversation. So I enjoyed all of that, and I enjoyed the classes. I'm so sorry. And the strawberries at cream at graduation is just
Nice
worth
one.
the 3 years.
Oh yeah.
Just aim for
Brilliant.
the strawberries and cream,
Brilliant.
Aim for the strawberries and cream, guys. It's totally worth it.
Love
I don't
it.
even like strawberries, but Queen's put something in the strawberries.
It's a good
I
spread.
don't know. It's probably like drugs or something. I don't know what it is, but it's good.
Nice. Where and what did you study? Where were you at? You were at Queen's then?
Yeah, I was at Queen's. I studied psychology.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why. I didn't want to be a psychologist.
Right. Okay.
I didn't know what I wanted to do. I feel like lots of people go to university not. How can you know?
Yeah.
How can you know when you're 18? Like, I am like now 38 and I still don't know what I want to do in my life. Like,
Okay.
how can you know? So I think you just make your best guess with this stuff sometimes.
Okay.
And psychology seemed like, if I'm going to study something for 3 years, that sounds like it could be funish. So
Okay.
let's do that.
Yeah.
It's probably, that's terrible advice. That's not how you pick your degree, but that's how I picked mine, because
Okay.
I had literally, so I feel like whenever I was growing up, I felt this call to teach. I knew I wanted to teach. Call isn't a word I would have used then, but I knew that I was a teacher. But I remember in my careers interview saying, I want to teach, but I don't want to teach in a school. And then being like, there's no such job, Charlotte. And handing me a leaflet on occupational therapy. It's like, I don't know what that is, but I don't want to do that. So that's how I ended up in psychology. I had applied for Stromulus and got in there too, but I just knew that it wasn't going to be a school for me.
Okay.
And my journey's taken me to a place where teaching is what I do, and I don't do it in a school. So I think it's really important to pay attention to the seeds inside your spirit, that God has planted those in you from birth. You were designed on purpose, with purpose, for a purpose, and it's in you, and it's just sometimes teasing it out. And the problem is, for some people, there's a really clear pathway to that. So if I have the seed of being a medical practitioner inside of me, and that's a really clear pathway. But for me, because the job that I was called to, the occupation I was called to, didn't really exist,
Mm-hmm.
and there wasn't a really clear pathway for it. It was much harder for me to figure out how to get there.
Yeah.
And I think some people struggle in university to choose subjects and to choose a pathway, because there is no pathway and you kind of have to make your own.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that was my journey.
Okay, cool. And then did you work in psychology then after university?
I did not. I don't even know what psychologists do. We did maths for 3 years.
Okay.
It was literally just lots of sums. So that's not what I signed up for.
Yeah, yeah.
No, whenever I graduated from university, I taught autistic kids one-to-one in their homes. And then after that, for a couple of years, I went to Bible college for a year at BBC. And then I came out and I had 2 years of just like the longest 2 years of my life, where I feel like God was doing so much on the inside of me, but outside it wouldn't have looked very successful to anybody.
Okay.
So I was like cleaning houses and like, you know, waitressing with my degree, and being like, honestly, God, I don't understand what, because I felt the call of God in my life. I knew that I was created for something, and I have no problem waitressing and cleaning. Brilliant. If that's what God's called you to, absolutely do it with all your heart. There's nothing less about that. But I just knew that I was called to teach. And so I went through these 2 years where, do you know what? God just kicked every ounce of arrogance that was in me out of me, because you can't have arrogance and clean someone else's toilets at the same time. And I realized that success was not about all the things I thought it was about, and not about all the things that people had told me it was about, because I'd grown up through the academic structure in the grammar schools, and success had become about grades and, you know, and accolades and medals and positions, and I had done all that stuff and I got all those things, and then I realized this is not success. This is not biblical success. That biblical success is just obedience. So if God asks me to clean toilets today, then this is what I do, and that's a successful day because He asked me to do it and I did it.
Let's go.
That's Christian success. And so I had 2 years of just that and asking lots of questions, and at the end of 2 years getting to this point where I was just like, honestly, God, if you don't give me anything else, all these other things that I'm chasing, even this call that I feel is on my life, even if I don't get that, you're enough. Like, I just want you. And I had this moment of re-surrender, and that was life-changing for me. And I'm so great. I wouldn't want to have to do the 2 years again, but so foundational to, I just had to everything had to be knocked out from underneath me. All the foundations that I had built my life on about what it meant to be successful, that all had to be cleared out to make room for new definitions.
Wow.
And I feel that that's what God did in those 2 years. And then after that, you know, I worked in a council for a while teaching kids. Like, you know, when you go on educational trips, you get a wee day out of school and you come and somebody teaches you about stuff. I was the girl who taught you about World War II or trees or whatever it was.
Nice one, yeah.
Yeah, so I did that for a year, and then I was invited on to a church staff in my home church, which was Portadown Elim at the time.
Class.
And that was when my journey really took a turn into the church, which is what I felt called to.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's so encouraging that, you know, even in them 2 years, there's a time of wait, but God had something around the corner for you. I think there's a lot of people like that there, and yeah, that is amazing. So you're now on staff here, CFC?
Yep.
Yeah, and it's like very fresh, like as of yesterday?
Yesterday. I started yesterday.
How's it been going since yesterday?
Well, I mean, I've only had 2 days to mess it up, so far so good.
Class, yeah.
By the end of the week, it can be different. All good. Yeah, I'm loving it. So cool. my role here is teaching pastor.
Okay.
Teaching and discipleship pastor is the role here. So yeah, it feels like a season where that your life's been building to, and you're stepping into something new and fresh and beautiful. And honestly, it's one of those seasons where you just look and you think, God, only you could have done this this way. Like, He's just, and I think that's sometimes why we can't figure out how to map our future, because God always does it in the most random, unexpected way, so you can't see it coming. Yeah. So yeah, that's all new. So we're figuring it out. I still don't even know how to find the kitchen or.
It's a big building, like.
I mean, I'm lost. I've been lost all day. People just find me wandering corridors.
Yeah.
You all right, Charlotte? Just looking for my office. Don't mind me.
Amazing. Oh, that's cool. Charlotte, you're coming to speak on Wednesday night about social media. So that's a bit of a different topic. So what's your approach on that? Or
it's just rubbish. We just need to stop using it.
delete Facebook. That's it.
Delete Facebook. That's it, guys. That's it. what is my experience of social media? I feel like you should get someone younger and hipper to do this talk, to be honest. But I'm going to come at it from I'm just going to come and be a big sister for the night. Maybe, I don't know, great aunt. It depends how old I look, I suppose. But I think that I'm saying we are a generation. You guys are in a different generation to me. But certainly my generation was the first one that had to figure out how this new world of social media works and how it affects us and how we use this beautiful tool, because I think social media is a phenomenal tool. I have met so many people. It's like getting access to rooms you would never get access to in any other life, because you're meeting people from all around the world who love the same things you do. So social media is brilliant. But I think that, and what I'll talk about probably on Wednesday night, is I think that there is biblical wisdom. The Bible is full of this biblical wisdom. The Bible is how God says the world works, how humans work, how life works. There is a wisdom that is foundational to the earth, how it was created and how we are created to function. And then there is alternative versions of wisdom in the world around us. And I think social media has a version of wisdom, as in, I will be clearer on Wednesday night than I am being right now.
Absolutely.
I think like social media has a set of values and rules by which they want you to live your life. And if you live by this set of rules and this set of values, then this will work for you. And I think they're contrary to biblical wisdom. And what I think we need, and what we'll do on Wednesday night, is we're going to just look at what does social media make me think is true, and then what is actually true.
Cool.
And then if we can see, I think that as the church in this generation, if we can bring biblical wisdom into the platform of social media and operate in the platform of social media, but not by social media's rules. Yeah. By the Bible's wisdom. Cool. Yeah. Then I think it could be such a transformational tool for this generation. But first we're going to have to unpick all the things that social media have taught us to believe that isn't true. Because if we operate in their wisdom system, we aren't getting life. We're not going to. The only way to life is God's system of wisdom. That's cool. So we're going to figure out what social media taught us. Genuinely, what is it telling us is true? Let's now look at what the Bible says is true. And if there's a difference, we need to decide which set of wisdom we're going to live our life by. Who's God here? Yeah. Is God actually the one we're following, or are we following the wisdom of something that's not God? Class. And have we allowed that to become our God? Yeah. So yeah, that's what we're going to attempt to do on Wednesday night. That's amazing. I mean, who knows?
I'm pumped, can't wait. Yeah, I'm just actually going to jump back, Charlotte, when you said about doing your degree and thinking it was like, you know, it was just the next step for you, you know, when you turn certain age, right, and need to go to university. Say there's people listening to this podcast right now and they feel a bit like that, because I know for me it kind of felt like that a bit, and I know there's probably so many people who feel like they're in the degree and they're enjoying it, but it's just like they felt like it was the go-to thing. Would you have any advice for like Christian students who are maybe in the degree and they're a wee bit unsettled or anything like that there? Sorry if that's a wee bit vague. Or
No, it's fine. I think that the problem is we think university is going to provide us with the qualification we need to go on and do the thing we're going to do. For a lot of people, that's exactly what happens. For other people, university qualifies you in a different way altogether. So what university gave me is not a qualification that I've used. I have not used 1 ounce of what I learned in my psychology degree. Not 1 ounce. Not 1 ounce. Yeah. Like, I am not exaggerating. None of it. Cool. If you're a psychology student, keep going. It's totally fine. But university taught me lots of other things that I wouldn't have learnt any other way. Brilliant. Yeah. It taught me self-discipline, because when you're in school, everybody helps you to do the stuff. There's somebody sitting over you to make sure you're doing your work, that you're handing in your essays. Nobody cares. I went to university, I was sitting in a room with 150 students. If I didn't turn up, nobody cared. And so I had to take responsibility for my own life, for my own learning, for my own development, and all of those, and for, like I talked about a little while ago, for my own faith. I think university is an excellent opportunity to take responsibility for yourself. And if we don't have those tools and those skills, we are going to struggle with the next stage of life. So I believe that university is an excellent preparation for life. Not just, and if we just narrow it down to this is about academia, then for a lot of people it's not going to, and you're going to think your university experience was a waste of time because you didn't use your qualification. For me, it was not a waste of time, and I have not used my qualification. Nobody yet has asked me, even do I have a degree for any of the jobs that I do. It hasn't been required. but what I learnt about and how I learnt to stand on my own 2 feet and own my own life and take responsibility, that has been priceless. So I think if you're in your degree, that you're learning things that really, really matter. Yeah. Just by being there and by being in this culture, I think that it's really important. It's really good and a good thing to do. Yeah. Plus, learning is just important. Education is important. Yeah. You know, and growing your brain and stretching it and writing really hard essays that you don't want to write. That's good. It's good for you. Yeah. Nice one. Write the essays, guys. Write the essays.
Cool. And then, really, just quickly, even just probably finishing up now. Actually, you went to Bible college. How was that experience for you? This is a funny question because I actually know a lot of people, me as well, who finished my degree and then toyed with the idea maybe going to Bible college, maybe felt a bit of a calling. How was that experience for you doing a degree, going back and studying? Yeah. What was it like maybe to be more clear, you read your Bible, personal devotion. What was it like actually studying it and going into a wee bit further with Bible college? That's a random question to throw in there at the end, sorry. But
no, not random at all. That's a good question. How was it was a random year. I really love studying. Again, I know that wins me no friends, but I really love to learn. I love learning new things, and so I really enjoyed that. What Bible college did for me was not so much educate me, which it did. I felt like Bible college gave me a new set of glasses through which to see the Bible, which was the most helpful thing in the world for me. So one lecturer in particular, it wasn't so much what he taught me how to teach myself. So I find that helpful, you know, and that's what I've carried on. It's not specifically, I remember he taught me this specific thing about this specific passage, because I don't remember all of those things. Yeah. But he taught me how to look at the Bible in a different way, and to understand it in a better way, a deeper way, a richer way. And I'm really, really grateful for that year for that reason. Class. So yeah, and I think a lot of people want to go and do Bible college because, I mean, if you're going to learn about anything, learning about the Bible is a really good thing to learn about, because if you're saying that you're a follower of Jesus, of course, why would you not want to give a year of your life to that? Like, I totally get that, and it wasn't a wasted year. Like, I really enjoyed it, and it was good. It was a really good year.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, Charlotte, I'm happy enough. That's amazing. Thank you so much. We're so excited. So this Wednesday night, so hopefully if you're listening or watching, this podcast will be out. It'll be the following Wednesday, which is the 6th of November at 8:30. So Charlotte, thank you so much for your time today.
You are
really appreciate it in your new space, in your new office.
My new boss's office, guys.
Love it. So thanks so much. All right. Thanks again for listening today. And for more information, please check out our Facebook and Instagram. See you soon.